Hi guys, so you will know that I'm a Scottish housewife, but something that you might not know is that I'm actually studying from a postgraduate in primary teaching. So it's about this time that you are probably getting ready for some interviews. Maybe you have done interviews already and you're probably thinking, what should I know for my interview? And in this video, I'm going to be telling you 7 things that I wish I'd known before I had started doing my interview. So I went to a number of different universities for interview, and let me tell you, number 1 is that every single university is looking for different things. And in that, some will be group interviews, some will be one-to-one interviews. And it's about maximising the most of your time. And hopefully with these 6 other tips, then you'll be all set and ready for your interview. So number 2 is that my tip or I wish I'd known before I went to interview, is that I had enough experience. Many people come to the interview and think there's lots more people that are more experienced than me. Maybe they've got some nursery qualifications, maybe they've worked in nurseries all their lives. But in fairness, I had worked with children quite substantially, but the amount of experience that I had in primary teaching, I felt was quite limited. But I had probably done as much as most people had done in terms of, classroom experience, primary classroom experience, apart from those that were actually teaching assistants within the classroom. That's different. But for me, I had spent every week, one day every week, every morning, going into a classroom. So one day a week, I'd go into the classroom and help the children out and help the teacher out and do all the paperwork side of things, filing, things like that. But just getting a general sense of how the classroom worked. And that was more than enough experience. So never worrying about not being good enough. You absolutely are good enough. And I wish I'd known that before going for my interviews. The next thing that I would say is that it's not all about me. Okay, so this is number 3. Okay, the interview is not all about me. It's actually all about the kids. And that's what universities are looking for. Are you all self-absorbed and thinking, oh, I have done this, I have done that. But actually, if you are able to turn around and make examples and go, well, I can see that some children were struggling and I was thinking about ways to help them. For example, if somebody has perhaps some anger management issues, they get very, very frustrated easily and hit out. Is it worth thinking about different ways that you could perhaps assist that child or suggest ideas to assist that child? Often I've found even things like a squishy toy, things like that can make all the difference. But that's me putting myself in the child's shoes and not thinking, oh, I need to deal with this child and they need to stop being angry. So again, knowing that it's not all about me and not all about my terrific skills that I bring, but sometimes the fact that I'm actually looking through the eyes of the child and getting down to their level. The other thing I would say, probably in the summer before starting even the application process, I was trying to cram in knowledge of the curriculum without knowing really where to look. There are lots of different things out there with regard to the Scottish curriculum. There's principles and practices of all the different subjects: health and well-being, mathematics, numeracy, literacy, all these things. However, the knowledge of them is really good, but it's not completely necessary. Remember, you're going into a course where you're going to be learning all of these things. I wish I had taken the time to being able to sort of develop these little pieces of paper, and I'll actually put them down in the description box below. There's little booklets. They don't take up much amount of reading, but actually reading over them, they're always helpful. Your lecturers will say that they would like you to have read over them before you enter into the class, but it's always just, it's a good way to sort of navigate the curriculum, but it's not necessary to know it all. And that's one of the things that I know I definitely fall down on. I think I need to know it all before I'll make that jump. So the other thing that I would say, and I think that if you have time, make the best use of your time before interview is to look up inclusion and what that means. So we're now in a very inclusive environment in primary teaching, for all the better. This is taking into account learning difficulties, physical difficulties, race, religion, sexuality, all these kind of things, much more than that. But it's making sure that you are as inclusive as you possibly can be. And I think to have a good background in that and have that sort of ticking away, often you're asked what makes a good teacher. Somebody that is inclusive and somebody that is able to differentiate will make a big difference to those children. The other thing that I would definitely look up at is social justice. Now, social justice is different from inclusion, and a lot of people, when you try to explain social justice, they'll think it is inclusion, but we're talking about the attainment gap, the poverty gap, the poverty attainment gap, and these are the types of words that you will want to know. These are the types of things that you will want to investigate before you go to interview, and it will make you very solid in your knowledge about the interview. And also, my seventh thing is actually knowing the difference between social justice and inclusion. These are huge topics that the Scottish Government are fighting towards, that universities are trying to educate new student teachers in, so they're well versed and well prepared to assist in helping as many children as possible. The last thing I would say, things that I wish that I'd known before I went to interview, is that I was good enough. We go into these things thinking, what if there's somebody that's better than me? And often it stops us from making that leap forward. If I had known that I was good enough and knowing what I know now and being comfortable in my skin and knowing who I am, there would have been nothing that stopped me. So with that, I hope you found that really useful. I will be doing more videos like this, more on my experience in teaching. So if you do want to know more about that, don't forget to subscribe, click on the bell, and like this video, and let me know about, perhaps your concerns and worries. I will reply to the comments, and I try to, answer everybody and help everybody I possibly can. In the meantime, guys, don't forget to be the very best that you can be.